How you doing? We're here with Miss Aleah Holland, CEO and founder of the Hill Network. How you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful, Mr. Sugar Ray.
Pleasure, pleasure, pleasure. You've been doing a lot of great things in the community. You know, I've been seeing Hill Network involved with a lot of things dealing with our children. Tell us, how did you start that? How did you start your organization?
I've been doing programs for kids since I was a kid. I was a Girl Scout, whatever, and then since 1997, I was doing after-school programs, helping different teachers, different community-based organizations with making their activities for children successful. And then I decided, just kind of bumping heads on different conflicts of interest, like little things. I decided just to do my own thing.
Okay.
And that's when I started Heal Network. And we had started out as a HIV awareness and prevention organization for teens, because the teen HIV and AIDS rate had risen about 800%, like in 1 year. And me being an HIV and AIDS nurse from since 1998, I decided to focus on that. And so it was HIV empowerment and awareness for life, and that was in 2007. And then I realized that I just didn't want to do activities with HIV. I love dealing with children, and we incorporate Tupac. Okay.
So tell
Yeah,
us.
so I love dealing with children. I love the whole entertainment aspect of music, dance, art, creativity, self-expression, writing, poetry. I write books.
Okay.
I'm an author, a published author. I'm kind of looking for a major publishing company now. I did it through a distribution company, Author House, because I wasn't getting any offers of good money at the time. But just through self-expression, creativity, and noticing that our children have so much more talent and bringing about positivity in other ways, I decided to turn it into helping, empowering, and advancing lives.
Okay.
And that's where we come Heal, which is also my name, all 5 letters of my name.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nice, nice.
My name is Aleah, Aleah, and Heal is helping, empowering, and advancing lives.
That's a beautiful thing. Hill is beautiful. You know, I've come out to you on one of your events at the school at MS
Connecting from the
267.
heart.
I came out to that. You know, that's a beautiful thing. What are some of the programs specifically that you guys offer for young people?
We offer DJing classes, DJ Kev White, where we have the boys come in and they learn how to DJ and mix and do all of the skills that Kev teach them, which is cute, and they love it.
Cool.
And we offer dance classes, hip hop music classes, writing, art classes is something that we focus on because we have different age groups that have different interests.
Okay.
This year we put together a basketball program. So we have basketball camp, and we have the television show. So I have the kids filming with me and editing with me.
Beautiful.
So we teach them how to film and edit, production.
Tell us a little bit more about the television show.
The television show is basically dealing with everything we do with the children in the community, in the classrooms, when we going out and we doing our charity fundraiser events like the Chuck E. Cheese event that just took place last week, Thursday.
That was a success. Blessing.
And then the Connected from the Heart event. I don't know when you came, but we had like over 100 and something kids there.
Yeah.
I think you came towards the end.
Yeah,
I remember having time to talk to you, so it had to be towards the end. And we had over 150 kids at that Connected from the Heart, where we gave out gift baskets with different little things for kids to show them that we love them and we care about them, and to tell them about Heal. And also, my mission and my goal with that was to connect other CBOs, community-based organizations, together to let our young people know that there's services for them to support them to be successful, and that there's services for their families, which a lot of adults don't even know that's out there. You know, we see these little organizations on the corner and things like that, and nobody come out to bring you in, so you don't even know what's going on inside. that could be beneficial and helpful for you and for your life to make things smoother and easier.
Definitely.
So that was the whole Connected from the Heart. It was short based. Hill sponsored it. Fisher Price, Mattel donated toys to us. Virgin Records donated CDs to us. Bobby Valentine, Lloyd Banks, the music that our children love and embrace.
Okay. Tell us, what do you think is missing from our youth today?
Everything.
What do you think is missing?
What do I think is missing?
What do you think can be done, let's say, immediately to really change the outlook, the perspective of our young people?
Building community centers for our children that will be open to them from morning to maybe like 10 o'clock at night. And in these community centers offering academic programs, which will also create jobs for our 12-year-olds, 6 to 12-year-olds. We will have after-school programs, but what about that age group that don't get any funding by the city, the 13-year-olds to 21-year-olds? And if you 18 to like 21 and you're not in high school or college, like you just out here in a gang, I guess, because there's nothing for them. So on that note, I think that Brooklyn has no free community centers, not one. You know, most of the programs, they cost something, and through these hard economical and financial times, people could barely afford anything, you know. And I think as our political leaders are in these communities and seeing that we don't even have any of these programs to help our young people, what else is there to do? Like my little daughter I was telling you about, her friend got shot at like 14 years old. And I had wanted to see him, and I didn't know if he was in the gang, because I remember him when he was a little baby, and he's still my little baby. And I had said, like, are you in the gang? And he was like, yeah, I'm in the gang, Miss Aleah. And I was like, why? He was like, what else is there?
You know, they say
what
that,
else is there to do?
You know, they say if we don't give our children something to do, the streets will. The system will. The streets and the system is waiting.
Yeah. And these are beautiful children that I've seen from my daughter from kindergarten to now my daughter's 15 years old. I think she's older than him. Okay. You know, and to know that he said, Miss Aleah, what else is there to do? And I was like, you're right. What else in this neighborhood is there for you to do? Nothing. And even if we can't build community centers, I had even presented something to one of our leaders not too long ago. I was speaking to Hakeem Jeffries. He was doing his meetings at the train station. What is Hakeem Jeffrey, Assemblyman? And I had asked him, like, why don't we push to have the schools open till like 10 o'clock at night, and which would create jobs. And also give our children a safe haven to go. The schools is there. The lights is on at every school I pass. So, you know, we're not going to use up any more electricity that kind of builds the school for anyway. You know, they need to utilize these spaces to help our children. It's real sad. One weekend, 23 young black males and Hispanic males killed. One weekend. You know, it's 52 weekends in a year. One weekend, 23. You know, and then you hear the hype and you hear all of the craziness go on for about a week, and then everything died out.
I was going to ask you that. What do you think about, as you know, like you just said, you know, someone is murdered. Right after that, people come out, they scream, they rally, they protest. But then the next week, the families are left with no support. Right, the young people are left, you know, hurting by themselves, dealing with the loss of their friends and family. What do you think could be done instantly about that?
Instantly, I think we need to open up some centers, leave these schools open a lot longer, create some jobs for some people that need jobs, build some more funding for our child educational programs for
What do you think about, how do you feel about people in the community, who live in the community, right, who complain about the things going on in the community, who are not active as far as volunteering their time, nor their few dollars, right? They work, they come home, and they go in the house. What do you think about that?
Honestly,
how can we get them to be more involved or to care?
Honestly, I try not to. Like I had that approach at one time where we was going door to door, asking for assistance, help, any type of volunteerism, any type of donations, any type of anything you can offer. And people feel like if it's not affecting them, that it doesn't affect them.
So how can we raise the awareness to let them know that it does affect them? Because it can be their child, their parent, their spouse, sibling. Like, what do you think we can do to raise the awareness? Because me firmly, I believe that if we could get outlets as far as newspapers, as far as things
the
that
TV show that
TV
we talked
shows,
about,
as far as things that people can read and see, they will see how you can be innocent. You can be sitting at home in your kitchen cooking. You can be walking your child to school.
Through your door and your window.
Kids get kidnapped off the street,
killed, murdered, raped, hurt every day. And you're so right. And the way that I think that we could raise awareness is with the community television show I was telling you about before we came on air. I really feel that that would be a positive outlet to make our children aware that there are real danger. There's real danger going on. The families to be more involved, more committed. The churches to be more involved, more committed. I mean, like, why don't you church, like Pastor Reverend Lee? I love Terry Lee. He comes out into the community and he helps, you know, and comes out to the people to help empower them and inspire them to do things and get involved. He got the trucking club involved. And I think more pastors should take that approach, or have their members in their congregation take that approach, because, you know, I know a lot of people that go to church on Sunday, and I'm a Christian and a believer, you know, in God. You know, I believe God loved me, Jesus loved me, Jehovah loved me, Allah loved me, Buddha loved me. You know, the yogi, I think everybody loves me. So
they do.
Thank you.
They do. So tell us as far as Hill goes, you know, what's coming up in the school year? You know, what you guys have planned for the school year? If you can tell us a little bit about that.
Well, what I do is, like, I get my children that's involved in an organization, and then my volunteers is usually my teenagers. That's the 13 to 21-year-old age group that's left out there, lost in the sauce. And if we don't have a grant or anything, then they don't get any type of help or assistance. So I do the after-school programs, which is from the ages of 6 to 12 years old, and I'm currently opening up a daycare for the younger children. But I do the after-school programs currently for the children that's 6 to 12 years old, and everything in entertainment, empowerment, and education. Like, I make sure that my children's grades are up to par. We provide tutoring services at my cost, charged to me, to help the kids and everything. And I get the 13 to 21-year-olds to help me with the children. And it's been a wonderful experience. I had 8 summer youth workers this year.
Nice.
And I mean, we underestimate the ability of the teens and the young people. They work better than paid staff. On point, on time, come to work early. They was at work before I was at work. Every day.
Beautiful.
You know, and just seeing that could be so successful, their interest, their enthusiasm, their, you know, it basically encouraged me to do more and be more and continue with what I'm doing.
Absolutely. Can you tell us what Hill has coming up? Let's say within the next, like what do you see Hill in the next 3 to 5 years?
Oh wow, Hill Centers. Hill Centers, a community center.
Which will consist of?
Community centers, places for our children to come to keep them off of the streets, places for the young people to participate in, gain work and employment in, and for people that's unemployed to come and get and apply for jobs.
What do you think about sex education for our youth?
Oh, they need it. Kids are having more sex than me. You know, 10, 11, 12-year-olds doing things that I didn't do until I was like in my 20s and thought I was in like a married type committed relationship. You know, these young kids is having more sex than we are. And they think it's normal, you know. It's numerous incidents where in the education system, you find girls in the hallways and the staircases having sex with the boys. And back in my days, like the most things that occurred, and I'm in my early 30s. You know, I don't like to admit it. My Hollywood age is 26, 25. I know I look 19, but back in my days, the biggest thing was like a boy touch you on your butt. Now, young girls as young as 12 years old is given performing oral sex with no problem, with no restrictions, with no hesitation. You know. And, you know, I always knew our boys was hyperactive sexually. You know, I got my butt felt up in 5th grade, you know. But the sexual part, you know, just like, 15 years ago, 18 years ago, to know that me having sex in staircases and in parks. And then the other day I was passing by a park. And what's that, like 11, 12-year-olds, 13, 14, smoking weed in the park. And this was during the school year.
Why do you think it is that these young people are doing these things? Do you think
nothing to do?
Nothing to do.
Nobody cares about them. Where's the support? Where's the love? Parents is at work on drugs, trying to find themselves. Mama shacked up with new boyfriend that she paying more attention to than her children. Mama's still trying to discover herself and find herself.